Welcome to Biomindscape. Today we are going to know about the Biosphere Reserve. So Biosphere Reserve, they are the protected area, they are the learning place for the sustainable development. They are the site for testing interdisciplinary approaches to understand and manage changes and interaction between the social and ecological system, including conflict preventions and managing of the biodiversity. They are the place where the local solution of global challenges are provided. Jurisdiction of a state where they are located. So Biosphere Reserve are designed under the MAP program by the Director General of UNESCO, which are followed by the decision of MAP International Coordinating Council, and this status is internationally recognized, and you can watch it on the official website. In that everything is given about the Biosphere Reserve involving the local community and all the interest about it. So what is the objective of Biosphere Reserve? Each Biosphere Reserve is intended to fulfill the three basic functions, which are complementary and mutual reinforcing. So the conservation, development and logistics. So conservation function, it contribute to the conservation of landscape ecosystem and special variation. In developmental function, to foster the economic and human development, which is socio-culture and ecological sustainable. Logistic function, to provide a support for research, monitoring, educating and informing, information exchange related to local, national and global issues of conservation and development. Then there are various structure of Biosphere Reserve. There are three zones of the biosphere structure. They are the core, buffer and transition zone. The core, it is a natural, or the core zone, it represents a undistributed or least distributed area representative ecosystem. Buffer zone is surrounding the core zone, and it is managed for research, education and training activity. It is an area of peripheral to the core zone where the restrictions are placed upon resources uses. Special development measures are undertaken to enhance the conservation value of the area. So what does happens in this area? In buffer zone surround the core zone, and it is used for research, education, training activities. It is an area of peripheral to the core zone where restrictions are placed upon resource use and special development measures are undertaken to enhance the conservation values of the area. So traditional activity including the timber production, hunting, fishing and grazing are permitted in the buffer zone. So and core zone is the central one where it is undistributed and least distributed area representing the ecosystem. Then transition zone is the outermost part of Biosphere Reserve, in an area where the active cooperation between the reserve management and the local people, wherein activity like settlement, cropping, forestry and recreating and other economic uses continue in harmony with conservation goals. So we can see the diagram of Biosphere Reserve zones, the transition zone, the outside one, then buffer zone, then the core zone. So here I have marked the T is the tourism and recreation, R is the research stations and experimental sites in the transition area. Then R is also present in the buffer zone where the main research stations and experimental research sites are present. And E is educational training and the buffer zone, and T is the tourism and recreation and the buffer zone, and core zone is the middle zone where monitoring is happening. So here there is no allowance of common people because it is a core zone. So the conservation of biodiversity and culture, economic development, that is socio-culture, environmental sustainability and logical support underpinning developmental research, monitoring and education and training. These are the goals, objective of Biosphere Reserve. So core area, we know that they comprise a strictly protected zone that contributes to the conservation of landscape, ecosystem and species and genetic variation. Here no people are allowed. In the core zone, in buffer zone, they are surrounded by adjoin the core zone, and they are used in activity like compatible with sound ecological practices that can reinforce scientific research, monitoring and training and education. And transition zones are the area where community foster socio-culture and ecological sustainable economic and human activities. So this was all about the biosphere, main points about the objectives and the zones of the biosphere. Now let's know about the biosphere reserves in India. Importance of Biosphere Reserve. It prevents the genetic diversity and ecosystem services. It promote the eco development and community participation. It acts as a climatic change buffer, example Sundarban for cyclone, and support education and research and monitoring. So challenges in management are population pressure and poaching and illegal activity, inadequate staff and funding, climatic change impact, lack of awareness among local communities.